And when we first moved to France, my mentor told me, don't you dare. You're making money in dollars. You're going to be living in euros. Like, this is a horrible financial decision. And I did it because I wanted to. My heart told me to, and it was my desire. And Elegant Femme grew by 500% that year.
Oh my God. It's time to stop spinning your wheels, wasting time, money, and energy building your brand alone on social media. Hi, I'm Sophia Spallino, the host of Social Equity, the podcast, here to help you build your own profitable personal brand, the social equity you can rely on to make the money that you deserve. Are you ready, Miss Future Millionaire? Let's get into it. Multi-million-dollar business as a flowing feminine woman. How does one do it? How did Tara Marino do it? How does she do it every day? It's not just about what we have to do to get there, but about who we have to be, who we have to become, who we must maintain and sustain to get there. Now, before we dive into the energetics of building a multi-million-dollar movement, let's meet Tara. I'm going to tell you a bit about Tara Marino. She's the founder and CEO of Elegant Femme. She's a French clothing designer. And as a woman who just spent some time in Europe, I am obsessed with her love for the old world and just, she's the epitome of class. She's a mentor for women returning to the truths of their souls worldwide. Years before she created the FemmeTypes, EF programs, or ran multi-million-dollar businesses, she was a young woman in need of healing power. After tragically losing her newborn son, she turned inward, uncovering the beauty of abundance around her, and slowly but surely returned to wholeness. Miraculously, that journey revealed her life's purpose to support women as they awaken to the truth of their feminine souls. Countless experiences before, during, and after her healing journey, from obtaining degrees in international business, French, psychology, to years of intensive IVF, to living in France with her family, to designing a clothing line featured in Paris Fashion Week. As a woman who studied fashion, this is just like giving me all the joy. Each moment delivered Tara's spiritual growth and her feminine power. She now supports thousands in Elegant Femmes around the globe as they do the same through online programs and private mentorship. Welcome to the show, Tara. I'm so glad. I first met her by going on her show, which is one of my favorite features to date. You're an incredible interviewer, and I'm so happy to now talk with you. Hi.
Hello.
Your hair, I'm loving it.
I did it. I just needed a change, you know? And I took the scissors, because this is what I do. When I make a decision,
Yes.
I cut it myself, and here we are.
You cut it yourself.
I did. I cut it myself, and then I decided on some highlights. This is this is the creation of Tara Marino.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is why I tell people I love older women, like in my relationships and in my programs, because you guys like look in your purse and you're like, oh, I have 0 F's to give anymore. Like, I just know who I am.
Yeah. Yes. And I would say that honestly, I'm at a stage in my life right now where this is the biggest priority. Like every day looking at what piece of me might I be consciously or unconsciously withholding? What piece of me is still buying into the misunderstanding that I'm not enough, or I can say that, or I can't say that, or maybe I should, or maybe I shouldn't, or that. And the awareness of the choice is what's more present for me now in my life more than ever. And we can feel that. All of us can feel it. But I think that where I'm at in my life, I feel that gap more than ever.
Wow.
Like that beautiful crossroads of like, okay, I can withhold this. I can contract in this moment, or I can really release and receive myself in the moment, right? That's what it's really about. So thank you.
So good. And the awareness of choice, that's something that I don't think I've heard anyone say but you. The awareness of choice. And we have this in every area of our lives, whether we're making decisions about business or relationships or anything going forward, whether how to do your hair. There's so much that we were taught and we're unlearning. And so to have the awareness of choice is the first step in changing your life in any way, shape, or form. In fact, awareness of choice to be fully present here. Let's sink in. I know when we got on your show, we did like this prayer before. Let's do it with everybody. Would you like to
Do
lead
you want me
the
to
prayer?
lead a prayer and intention?
Yeah.
Oh,
Lead your
okay.
intention for the
Let's do it. Let's do
podcast.
it. Let me actually, am I clear or is it a little fuzzy? Is it okay on here? Do I need to like,
I'm seeing
okay.
clarity on my end for sure.
All right. We're going to do it. Okay. All right. Father, Mother, God, as we come into this sacred place together, may we let go of any illusion, any scarcity, any withholding, anything that's less than love. May every single one of us surrender to the deepest truth inside, allowing all the beauty, all the abundance, all the peace, and that true residence of knowing that we are more than enough. May this time together overflow, touch every part of our lives, and may we all leave with a deeper awareness of the power that we have, the light that we are, and the opportunity to see and reflect that in each other. This or something even better for the highest good of all concerned. Amen. Amen.
Amen. So,
Does that
so
work?
beautiful. It worked. I said it before, I'll say it again. You were just a holy woman. Like you were just set apart to lead so many women. And when you step into the room, just your energy, it commands everyone's souls to go at ease. And I love having you near. So
That means so
thank you.
much, Sophia. Our first call together, when I had you on the Beautiful Soul Led Life
I
podcast, I
loved it.
told you you're like walking love. I fell in love with you that first call. And I know you've been through, quite a bit of intensity in your life right now. So I'm praying for you. I love
Thank
you.
you.
And everyone that's listening, whatever phase of life you might be walking through in this particular point, may we all remember, especially in these moments, who we really are.
Amen. I
Yeah.
100% agree, full agreement. Well, I'm excited to have the tables be turned and interview you today because I think it's so important for all of us as women, especially my audience, primarily queer women, need to see other women who have succeeded and beyond succeeded, get to live a life that they've intentionally created. And you've done this so well. You've got so many buckets of revenue. You're an entrepreneur, you're a fashion designer, you're a creative, you're a coach. And I would love to know, not only for my audience, but for myself, what are your revenue buckets? Like, what does that look like? Because we know millionaires have multiple revenue buckets. And I like to look at someone who's gone before me and go, what is it for you? Because for me, I've got like commercials, royalties for songs, coaching programs. I can't even think. Right? There's just so many little things where the money comes from and where it's going to continue to even grow. So if I'm at 32 feeling this way, and you are
I'm
wise,
48.
48 and
48 and a
fabulous.
half. The half counts now these days, right? The half
I
count.
love it. I love it. 48 and a half. So at 48 and a half, how many revenue streams do you have to get to this level? And if you don't mind sharing some of them.
So I think for me, what's really important part to preface this question, is when I started my business, I wasn't thinking like
Mhm.
multiple revenue streams. I wasn't thinking business plan. Now, I'm not saying that that's right or wrong or whatever it might be. I just want to share really from a heart
Yeah.
space that my entire business was created from my desire, need to heal myself. It wasn't like a master plan of let me create a business that's going to change the world. Let me create a business that's going to be an 8-figure global brand. And I just say that because sometimes I think we do buy into the illusion that if we're going to build extraordinary wealth, that it has to be done a certain way.
Right.
It can be done any way. And so I didn't have it all figured out, is what I really want to say. I didn't have it figured out at all. And actually, I was writing this today. I'm taking Italian lessons, and I was writing in Italian today as part of my practice, part of my story. And when we first moved to France, my mentor told me, don't you dare. you're making money in dollars, you're going to be living in euros. Like, this is a horrible financial decision. And I did it because I wanted to, my heart told me to, and it was my desire. And Elegant Femme grew by 500% that year.
Oh my gosh.
Not because I had a master plan, not because I knew how I was going to handle it, but because I really trusted my desires. So I want to preface by saying that. So revenue streams. This year has been a big shift for me because I've really closed off any kind of private mentorship with me unless it's at a very, very, very high level.
Same.
So it's not something that I really do anymore. So do have a mastermind that I'm still running. So I have my mastermind. We have programs that are done inside of Elegant Femme that we've created over the past 17, 18 years that are streams of revenue. Many, many programs, from our Femme Flow list to our Live You Fully program to Embody to, like, we have a whole library of programs that Elegant Femme has created that are continuously available for women. Then we have our Tout Possible program, which is a year-long, no live time for me unless like something little special. I'll do a bonus Voxer day or something like that. And we have women in there who pay for the entire year, and they get the entire Elegant Femme curriculum for the year. So these are some of the revenue streams that are available inside of Elegant Femme. In addition to that, we do own properties, and my husband is actually in the stock market. So what's really beautiful for me is learning about dividends and receiving this area of our life and just allowing myself to be supported. Because in the beginning of the business, I really felt like it was all up to me. And because I am a very, very strong woman, and because I love money and I love creation and I love service, I really did, for a large portion of my life, take it upon me. Well, if we're going to be successful, I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it. And I would say the past decade has really been a beautiful leaning back of, how can I receive wealth without feeling like I need to do anything? So a lot of our revenue stream comes from what my husband has created, what's been saved, the dividends that are being created in the stock market, and we just let it roll.
I love it. It's power coupling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. And you get to be in your feminine energy, and you have things that you've created working for you. People say, Sophia, how do I work with you while you're in Europe? I'm like, I'm not on vacation. Like, this is like a lifestyle. I've created programs to serve you while I'm living my life, and I'm able to support you, like you said, in Vox or whatever it is. It doesn't change anything, but we've created scalable businesses.
This is something that was actually difficult for me to wrap my head around, in that I placed so much value on the live things when I was running a live program that I was really afraid, like, to offer a program that wasn't live. I had this complete illusion inside. And if you think about it, all the live energy is there.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it live. Right. Yeah. So it's been so beautiful to have my clients reflect to me, especially those women that are in Tout Possible, which they pay a certain amount and they get the entire curriculum, but it's all already pre-recorded, and they will still, Tara, please you don't need to do anything else. Like, ever, like literally ever. Everything that you've created is here. Just like, allow us to receive the value that's here. Don't feel like you need to do something more. So that was actually a big change for me in my business. And I know a lot of my colleagues go through the same thing, this unraveling the illusion that because it's not live, it's somehow more valuable. I mean, really being able to pause, re-listen, it can be even more valuable. And so letting that go and letting those revenue streams of what we've created in the past build, like you said, let it be scalable, knowing that we've already created it.
Yeah. You created these huge community for yourself, and there's so many ways to continue to sell to people, pour into people without having to do it live. I'm so glad that you've mastered it.
Mastered, I don't know. But what I will say is that what I've learned is also that I do whatever I'm doing. And I said this already, but I learn it again and again. I do whatever I'm doing for me. What do I need to learn in this moment? Because then you can bet I'm going to be teaching it, because I require to be in the energy, because I want to facilitate that, because I want to be a part of it. So, oh my gosh, Sophia, do you know what came through?
What?
My ego is like literally screaming. I'm so nervous. Okay. Like, we're about to do this, so I'm just sharing it with you like live. I was praying and meditating, and it got really clear. Okay, we're going to do something really special that we've never done before. And I'm going to be doing Elegant Femme's Guide to A Course in Miracles. Sophia, I'm going live for 365 days.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I
That's
am
intense.
so literally my mind is like, what are you like? Are you, I'm having all of these thoughts, and yet I can
People
feel,
live are loving it. They're hearting it. They're like, yes.
I can feel inside of myself like, oh babe, like it's about to get real. It's
It
about to get,
is.
it's about to
Oh
get real.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I love that you study the Course in Miracles. It's one of my favorite texts that I've explored, and that really like cracked me open to more than just traditional Christianity that I was raised in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
exciting. Okay, so I know that it wasn't just one step, and I know that you've opened yourself up to a more relaxed way of receiving the money. But what was your first step? Like, were you brought up, like, because I was brought up with family that treated me well, pretty wealthy, but then I was cut off and I figured it out on my own. But I did have, parents that made me work since I was a kid. So I learned a work ethic. Did you have that? Like, or did you become who you are on your own? Like, what was your
I started
childhood?
working when I was 14.
Okay.
So we lived in a seasonal town, Julian, California, up in the mountains. And so every fall was big apple season. So my very first job was at the Julian Pie Company. And I still do this, still remember the owner teaching me how to tie the plastic bag on the trash can the way she wanted it. I mean, she
Yeah.
really had the whole like McDonald's mindset. So very young, started working. And I was just talking to my husband about this the other day because our boys are the same. That they're now 18 and 21, but they never ask us for money. I mean, I
No.
always they know that I would literally give them whatever. They never ask. They have their own money. They're very aware of that and they have a lot of pride in that. So, yeah, I started working young and I love the creation of money. I love the feeling of it. I love the creation of something out of nothing, which
Yeah.
is what we get to do as entrepreneurs. It's just so incredible to think, you know, oh gosh, I have this extraordinary idea that I want to birth in the world. How can I draw on all of the resources available to me and offer something extraordinary? I mean, I just find it so fun.
It's so
It's like
fun.
magical. It's magical. So, yes, work ethic, very, very young. My parents owned a couple businesses growing up, so I saw them always working, always committed. My mom went back to college when I was in high school
Wow.
to get her degree, which was something that was very important to her, and she ended up being the valedictorian of her entire class in San Diego. So, I have a lot of support from my parents of, yes, you can do whatever it takes and you can do whatever you
I
want.
love it. And for everyone listening who doesn't have those family backgrounds, like we got to see our parents like work hard. Find mentors like us that you can look up to and go, oh, okay, she did this thing. So that's evidence for me in my life. If your mom didn't go and do it, then find that support. Did you have a coach to get started? What was the first step for you? Was it an idea for a business?
So no, I mean after my firstborn son, so we didn't share this part of the story, so it's gonna be a little bit tender when I say it maybe out loud here. So my firstborn son passed away in my arms when he was an infant. And it was that catalyst of that defining moment that had me lean into a different healing modality. So I was just 26. He was born the day before my 26th birthday. Beautiful baby boy, like just gorgeous. He had his dad's lips, like perfect APGAR score, and he ended up dying from pneumonia a week later. And it was this catalyzing moment for me that was, yes, I had lost a child. So there was obviously that deep pain of the experience, but I also felt a loss in identity. And it was from there that I created my method of the FemmeTypes and grew my business. It wasn't a marketing idea to make money. It was really, I need to heal myself. I need to remember who I am. I need to gift myself the opportunity to choose, which is what we spoke about in the beginning. That power of instead of why is this happening to me, how am I going to respond? And that is what changed my entire life. I had women started to ask me what I was doing, who I was, how had I become this woman. Women who had lost children, certainly, but also women who felt a loss in identity, a loss in a dream, a loss of something in their life started coming to me. And that's how Elegant Femme and the FemmeTypes were born.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. That is just the most heartbreaking thing. I'm curious, did your two children your boys, did they come after or
They
were they
came
already?
after. Yeah, Mason was my first, and then I did have a miscarriage after Mason, and then we had Dominic and Nico. Yes, so they came after. Yeah, and they're very aware of we've been through it together, really, the growth.
Thank you for sharing. And I know there's women out there who have their losses, and I can't imagine. Like it makes my heart hurt, and just can't even imagine because I do long to be a mother one day. So can't imagine.
Well, I will say though, Sophia, though, like it's so interesting when we talk about these things in our lives because honestly, I can't even imagine. It's not we don't go through these things and then we get like the grief card or the pain card and we're like, "Oh, totally." It doesn't work like that. It's this
Mm,
moment in my life that, looking at it, for example, through the lens of A Course in Miracles, if we look at the timelessness of the past and the future and just my choice to be in the present and receive everything from that experience that I honestly now consider it one of the greatest gifts I was ever given. It
wow.
birthed me. His death birthed me. I would not be the woman I am today without that. No way. No way.
Wow. And the trials that people go through, maybe they're listening and they can think of one specific instance in their life that may be different than what you've
Yeah.
experienced. But okay, that was the pivotal moment where something changed and something that you thought was going to be your identity isn't. And you have to figure it out. I know so many women are actually going through that moment. I don't know if it's like your second Saturn return in your 50s or but a lot of women come to me because they're like, oh, I need to do something different. Like, I realize I hate my career. Or they probably come to you at that age too, right? Because they're like, oh, I'm not living my life for me or in my fullness. Is that a common thing you see happening when people are like hitting 30, but then also hitting 50? Do you see that in your
I
clients?
see consistently.
Okay.
I don't know if the age is a thing where I will have women come very, very successful and say, I did it, Tara. I followed the plan. I followed the goal. I did what I was supposed to do. But they have blinders on and they've gotten to that whatever proverbial, then they're like, wait a minute, I'm not fulfilled.
Mm,
Right? I limited myself somewhere. Or I'm not living into the fullness of who I am. Yeah, of course. I see it all the time. I mean, it's what we stand for inside of Elegant Femme is all the beauty, all the love, the living fully is what it is. Yeah.
I think people come to you when they feel like they have everything, but they're missing like
Yeah.
something and maybe they can't
Yeah.
pinpoint what
Yes.
it is.
That's a really, yes, a
Yeah.
really
And
beautiful way to say it.
are you noticing like hustle culture being dead and women like just not like realizing we can't survive in that? Because I'm a big doer, but I also don't believe in like doing something that's not sustainable.
I think that across the board there's a different conversation taking place right now, that there is an awareness that the push, the force, the exhaustion, the addiction to the doing, the addiction to the adrenaline, and it can be like give us a high, right? We're like, oh, I'm so good, I did all the things, I'm making all the money. And I do feel like there's a conscious evolution that's becoming aware that not only is it not sustainable, but again, getting to that point and then recognizing that we are not fulfilled. We get to all look through the lens of where am I addicted to something as a point of value for me? The amount of money I make, how much I do, how much I help others, like whatever that external factor might be that we're attaching ourselves to as a point of value, that is what I feel is being unraveled right now. There is nothing wrong with doing. We're all
No.
here to allow aligned action. But for me, it really is not the priority. It really is for me and my life right now at this season. The doing isn't the priority. The allowing is the priority. The conscious awareness of who I am when I choose to do anything, but it's no longer this addictive cycle that it's not enough unless I'm doing something or performing in some way.
What point did you feel like you not only realized that, but you were able to do it? Like you were able to not treat yourself bad in your mind
Yeah.
and you're able to actually accept receiving. Like what changed? What age? Because at
Yeah.
32 is something I'm like, I'm working
I
on,
know.
okay? Like I'm having to send myself to Europe to do
Yeah.
it.
So when I was 40, I went through my first IVF cycle because we did want another child. And my husband at that point had had a vasectomy. And after my last child, there were some complications. So they said, this is the way to go, right? We tried all the other things. So I had my first IVF cycle, moved from France to the States, left my boys for 2 months, like went all in, followed all the protocol, like everything. Like it was an all in obsession. Like I can make this happen. We did everything. Got pregnant, saw the heartbeat, everything's going like amazing, and I miscarry. And I will tell you, Sophia, I was so rocked that I was screaming at myself, like, Tara, what the hell is wrong with you? You've already lost a child in your arms. Why is this even hurting you? Like, you know what you know at this point in your life. You know that, everything's working for you. You know that there's going to be beauty in this. Like, why is this hurting so bad? And it was then that I was realizing that God was really unraveling inside of me. First of all, a deeper level of trust, but also an allowing of the human emotions, and really this deep understanding that the control and the managing that we get addicted to when we're doing that, if we think if we do everything right, if we manage, if we control all of the circumstance, then things are going to turn out exactly the way we want them to. So it was that experience. We ended up leaving Paris after that. We had lived there for 7 years, and we went on a sabbatical. Me and the boys and my husband, we sailed Greece, we went to Thailand, and I didn't work for about 6 months. And then, which was, and by the way, so funny, one of the most profitable times in our business.
So you
Hysterical.
just let things run. And did you post at this time?
I
Did you
had a
like post
team.
pictures?
No, I was posting like it now. It was 8 years ago now, so social media wasn't what it is today. But I had my CFO running launches for me. I was checking in every once in a while, but no, I mean,
That's
no.
amazing.
But moved here to the Outer Banks, and that was really a repositioning for me around the doing. Like really a lens of, okay, where am I buying into the illusion that if I do all the things, it's going to turn out exactly the way my ego wants, and where have I been like squeezing life? So that was the turning point for me. I was 40.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's sadly, it takes us sometimes hitting rock bottom in some way, shape, or form for us to really let go. And that's why I told everyone when I went to Italy, I was like, I cried eating tomatoes. Like I cried actually letting my body rest for the first time in a long time. And it
Rest
was
is an aligned
necessary.
action. We forget this. Rest is an aligned
Yes.
action. We've been taught to judge it. We've been taught we're lazy or that we're going to miss something. And when we're in that state, we're buying into the illusion that, again, that we're in control or that we can't trust life. And we're actually limiting our capacity to receive. So I
Yes.
love that. I saw some of your stories in Italy.
Oh,
So
I
beautiful.
definitely saw your hat that you had, the Chloe hat, and I was like, I must. And I don't even wear caps, but I was like, I have to have this cap.
So
So,
cute.
anyways, thank you. Well, it's wild to see all that you went through, all that you've created. If there's one piece of advice you could give women at 25, what would it be? And then let's go up to like 40. What would it be? What would it be at 25? What's the advice?
It's so funny because for me, it's like, again, it's literally ageless. I don't see through
Mhm.
the lens of like 25 or 40 anymore, at least not consciously, at least not consciously. So let me
Okay.
see. And I like whatever comes forward, I don't know what's going to be in service, but
Okay.
the piece of advice that I would give. mm, Oh my gosh, I'm trying to like argue with myself so it doesn't sound so
Okay.
cliche, but sometimes those are the best, right? The simplicity of it. I would look at and ask myself, where in my life am I not fully trusting my
Mhm.
soul? I would really slow down and ask that question, no matter how old you are, 25 or 40 or anywhere in between. Where am I not fully trusting my soul in my life? And have a journaling exercise. Gift yourself permission to go all out. Sometimes we are so afraid to ask the question because we think as soon as we know the answer, we're going to be pressured to do something about it. So we withhold from even asking ourselves the question. When we can gift ourselves permission to say, look, I don't have to do anything about it. I don't have to act. I'm going to gift myself the awareness of what is true for me inside. So just slowing down and asking the question, where am I out of alignment? Where am I not listening and not trusting myself and my soul at this particular point in time? Once you, and go all in, right? Like go there, right? The little point that you're like, I'm not going to write that one down because if I do, I'm admitting to myself that I feel like everything's fucked right now and I'm not willing to change directions. Like, see if you can just listen, really listen. And then once you have that beautiful, intimate conversation with yourself, so many things open up. I mean, when we were living in Arizona and our boys were, I think, 3 and 1 at the time. We were in a country club. We were on the golf course. We had the two best cars. I hadn't started my business yet. My husband was working in a cubicle for like 14 hours a day. We never saw him. And my husband and I sat down and said, like, stop, pause. Is this the life we really want to be living?
What's the point?
What are we doing? We've gotten into this cycle. What are we doing? And our financial advisor at the time, we had admitted to him that we want to travel the world. And he was like, listen, you guys are crazy. You can't do that. You've got to build X amount of wealth before you. And this is not my MO. Like if I want something, I'm doing that. So we gave ourselves permission to have the conversation. We ended up selling our home, moving into a smaller home. I sold my wedding ring and we started Elegant Femme.
Whoa, you sold your wedding ring to start.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So now you can have whatever wedding ring you want, I'm
I
sure.
can, but I still haven't gotten one. Like I have this little sapphire my grandma got me when I was 13 and my grandma's wedding ring. And it's so funny. I sold a 2.5 carat wedding ring and I just never felt the desire to replace it. It was such a proud moment for me to invest that into our company. And then my husband tapped out the 401k. We invested in a coach, a mentor at that time, Ellie Drake, which I love her so much. I haven't heard from her in forever. And we went all in the business. That's what we did.
Wow, that is beautiful. Like it's crazy to just see people who can get whatever they want and you'd be like, no, I'm just like not interested in that. Like it's what it means to you to not have it is this memory.
Yes.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you and your husband
I'm
are
so
still
happy. Huh?
And you and your husband are still so happy.
So happy. I mean, we're about to celebrate 23 years of marriage oh God, what day is it? June 27th, because we got married as soon as we found out we were pregnant with Mason, and then Mason passed away, so we never had a wedding. So we're always like, wait, what date? When did we go to the Justice of the Peace? We have to look out the marriage certificate.
Oh,
but
oh my gosh.
This is like the things that you recognize, the things that matter.
Yeah.
You know, you really do. Yeah.
I think in the beginning of building your business, we can be striving for so much more that we lose track of what really, really matters. And recently I've realized it's like, it is the freedom. It is, oh gosh, my parents being alive, right? So there's so much that I'm realizing matters more than anything. And the ability to truly live your life every day from a place of freedom and only choose the relationships that are going to be healthy and nourishing for your peace of mind. Like it is beautiful that you have been in this marriage for so long. And I think that's something that people don't like see nowadays. Like it's rare. It's hard, I'm sure, at times.
Well, sure. For sure. I think the divorce rate for couples who have lost children is 85%. And what I share, and I think this is true for any relationship. Now, again, everyone needs to utilize their own inner knowing and their own inner compass. And for me, that one of the things we talk about is, am I looking for reasons to stay or am I looking for reasons to go? Because we always find what we're looking for, like always, always, always. Neither of us are perfect. We've grown together. We're actually about to, we're talking at a really interesting time in my life, Sophia.
Okay.
Like so many things are about to change. So what is it? End of June, whatever, right? June something. And August 28th, my youngest, my husband and I are leaving to go back to France. My youngest got into one of the top business schools in the south of France, and my husband and I are getting on a boat and we're going sailing around the world.
Oh
and
my
this
God.
is his dream forever. So we're at a really interesting crossroads with building the business and now really letting go and literally setting sail into a new chapter.
Wow. I am so happy for you. How beautiful. And it's like so crazy. Like, I just went through something where like I'm so scared to get on a boat, like ever. Like, right? And now, uh, but like I also see it as like a another lease on life for my parents. And now like they get to live more fully and like you're about to go sail the entire world and I can be so happy for you. It's so interesting. There's so many like deaths and rebirths and I'm so happy for you in this time in your business, in your life, and in receiving, just celebrating receiving.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's
Is there,
available to all of us. I think it's important to honor every season that we're in.
yeah.
So anyone listening might be in a season of really building the business and, selling things in order to, make the rent or have that choice, or you might, and just honor the season you're in. There is no one right way to do anything. Follow your heart, listen deeply to what it is that turns you on. Just like the story of me moving to France and Elegant Femme growing by 500%.
Yeah.
It's because I followed my heart. There was no logic to this.
No.
It was because I was really honoring my truth. And I think that's really important for us, especially as women, to remember. We get into this masculine mindset of it has to be done this way in order for it to be successful. And for me, it's really letting that go and looking at what's turning me on, what feels so juicy, so real, so beautiful. And is my soul seeking that experience? Because whenever we honor what experience our soul is seeking, it's going to be abundant, always.
I love it. I love it. And it seems absolutely crazy and like you said, illogical. It seems absolutely nutty, but I can tell you from my recent experience, it's so true. Within 3 days, we had made $17,000 and that was just 3 days. And then I stopped counting and I was like, oh, this is like how it gets to be. Yeah. And so if you can let go and you can have things set up for you to succeed, I mean, there is a season where you are working, right? But set things up right and watch the magic happen and live in freedom.
For sure. And remember to live in freedom the whole way, right? The
Mm.
whole time. It's not like I'm going to stop until. It's like, that's why so many people in the beginning would say, oh, Tara, I wish I could do what you're doing, living in France. And I'm like, well, why can't you? Isn't this why we started our businesses in the first place? Like, what do you mean you're looking at me? Why can't you do what I'm doing? Like, we're colleagues. You have an online business. What are you talking about? Like,
Go
now. It's a now
anywhere.
thing. Yeah, we say this
Yes.
inside of Elegant Femme. Like, it's a now thing. It's now. Now. It's a now thing.
A now thing. Well, I'm about to go to Paris. I'm so excited, and I will think of you as I go for my first time.
Yes. Yes. Enjoy it.
Thank you. How does my audience get to work with you, get to go into one of your programs?
Yes. So we have a Femme Design Assessment,
Okay.
which is a beautiful way for women to find out about the FemmeTypes, which we didn't get really an opportunity to
Yeah,
talk
go
about.
ahead.
So the Indie,
Tell
the
me about
Frenchie.
it.
Oh, well, the Indie, the Frenchie, the New Yorker. It's the way how I healed myself. So it's 3 aspects that live inside every single woman: the Indie, the Frenchie, and the New Yorker. And this is what I discovered to put myself back together again. I mean, literally, how do I come into alignment and gift myself permission for the full receiving, the full pleasure and beauty, and the full power and abundance that's available to me? So we have a quiz called the Femme Design Assessment where women can go. It's beautiful, quick quiz, but it'll give a printout of the percentages of where you're operating inside of the FemmeTypes. So we know for women that we typically have difficulty receiving support. So we typically operate inside of one FemmeType, and we leave the other 2 FemmeTypes like reservoirs of power that we're not utilizing. So that's a beautiful place to go to see where you're operating inside of your FemmeTypes. And then from there, we have the Femme Flow List. We have tons of Elegant Femme programs that'll support anything that you desire, from a business to love to living into all of who you are. And all of that can be found on our Instagram, Tara and Marino.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to have a link in the show note for everyone listening to this on the podcast later, where you can go and connect with Tara. Thank you so much for giving us your time and your light today. I love connecting with you. Truly, my heart is just so happy. I was so happy to get to see you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I really mean what I said. You are walking love. You truly are. You're such a blessing to this world. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you.
I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so grateful that our generations can connect. Like I'm able to reach people that you aren't, you're able to reach people that I can't. And that is what's so beautiful. I love seeing someone that is so empowered helping women and knowing that women are never in competition. Like we're helping all help. We're
Complete.
all helpers, all angels on this
Yeah.
earth.
Yeah. When we can let go of that competition and just see the creation, it's such a beautiful place to be,
It
for
really
sure.
is. Thank you for
Thank
existing. Have
you.
an amazing day. And everyone needs to go follow your podcast too. Can you tell them where to find that?
Yes. Beautiful Soul Led Life podcast. We have a gorgeous episode with Sophia that you can find in there. I can't remember which episode it was, but yeah, Beautiful Soul Led Life podcast, Apple, Spotify, all the places.
All the places. I want to say it's episode 98.
Might
I have it going out on my
be.
email list after
It
our
might
next
be.
launch. Yeah.
Yeah, might be episode 98. You might be right. Yeah.
I will tell you that was my favorite interview I've ever done. Yeah.
Oh,
And that's just a testament to you being such a great interviewer and safe place. So I'm excited for everyone to subscribe to that podcast.
me too. I really, really loved it. I really loved it. Just you pouring and melting into the space. I feel like it was such a gorgeous reflection of love, of union, of respect, and just joy by two women. Like, I'm going to encourage everybody to go see it. It was really, really good.
It was. Yeah,
Yeah.
go subscribe. I share stuff on that podcast that I've never even shared on my own yet. So, yeah, go subscribe to the Beautiful Soul of Life podcast because it's an episode for the books. Well, thank you, Tara, for coming on the show.
Sophia.
Have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon.
Perfect. Mwah.
Bye. Bye. Congratulations for listening to another episode of the Social Equity Podcast. Every moment you invest in building your brand is contributing to your social equity. If you're an exhausted coach or service provider, or you're just getting started building your brand from scratch, I can't wait to give you the first steps to go from 0 to 5K months and advance to 10 to 20K months. But why should you take my word for it? Well, I've spent over 9 years in the industry, amassing over 350,000 followers across platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as hosting a top charting podcast, building a successful service provider business, and coaching powerful women to build purposeful, profitable personal brands. So yeah, you should lean in and listen to the social media secrets, sales tips, marketing strategies, and mindset hacks I share. I want to help you build your dream business that makes real money, leveraging the power of a personal brand on social media. Because you're ready to quit wasting time on content that isn't working and start bringing in the money you deserve as a purpose-led coach or service provider, sharing your gifts with the world. So for a limited time, I'm giving away your first steps to go from 0 to 5K months and advance to 10K to 20K months. Grab my newly revamped Profitable Personal Brand Blueprint, the proven framework to build yourself a personal brand that motivates, inspires, and sells so that your business can thrive the way it should. Just go to the link in the show notes. To ask me questions in real time, join me on Instagram Live for the live podcast show. The schedule is always posted on my profile. My handle is @Sophia Spallino. And if you're tired of posting without a reliable strategy and posting without maximal profit, just like many of my clients were before, then you want to join the Profitable Personal Brand 6-month coaching program. Many of you asked how you can get me to coach you on building a profitable personal brand like the one I have. That's why I designed this coaching program, so you could have me coach you, guide you, and mentor you. This is for female coaches, service providers, and entrepreneurs who want to be known for purposeful work and build an extremely profitable personal brand on social media without wasting time. Whether you're a novice at creating or you're feeling stuck, hitting a plateau in business that once had consistent revenue and need guidance, support, and coaching to get to your next level, book a strategy call to speak with either me or my team to see if we'd be the right fit to work with each other inside of the Profitable Personal Brand 6-month coaching program. Mind you, I am very selective and this coaching program is not for everyone because I'm only taking on serious, purpose-driven, and committed soul sisters inside of my community. If that's you, book your free strategy call now. The link is in the show notes. And if you feel yourself come alive and get excited to take radical responsibility for building your social equity, your personal brand that no one can take from you, leave a 5-star rating with a kind review wherever you listen to podcasts. And be sure to share the show with a powerful woman you know. And remember, with a positive mindset and a profitable personal brand, all things are possible. So go get up and go get what you want.